This week's Torah portion is Vayakhel-Pekudei, and please excuse my sore throat as I deal with a cold this week. This double portion concludes the book of Exodus. It summarizes the details of the construction of the portable sanctuary, the Mishkan, the priestly vestments that the Kohanim are to wear, and the utensils that would go inside, and emphasizes how the people followed through in building and fashioning all of these items. At the conclusion of the portion, Moses blesses the people for the construction and invokes God's presence to reside in the sanctuary. But we're not given the words of this prayer that Moses blesses the people. The rabbis, as Rashi brings forward in his commentary, the rabbis suggest that Moses' prayer was none other than Psalm 90. And so just as an aside, how could Moses recite a psalm in the desert, a psalm that wouldn't have been written until 800 years later? For the rabbis, the entire Bible itself is one literary unit given at one time, and so Moses had access to that religious tradition, even though it may have been from King David 800 years later. Moses knew about it. If we look at Psalm 90, what does it have to do with the building of the Mishkan and the dedication of that sanctuary? The psalm discusses how fleeting time is. Grant us, O Lord, the ability to count our days so that we may attain a heart of wisdom, one of the sentences in the psalm says. And so what does how fleeting time is and understanding how finding meaningful moments have to do with building a Mishkan? Perhaps the rabbis are teaching us that we shouldn't get all caught up in all the details of the building, of any building, and the rituals contained therein. Being Jewish and finding meaning in life is not just about the building itself. We shouldn't focus our attention on the building and the details of the building, but rather focus our attention on what the building itself represents. It's just one manifestation of our desire to get close to God and to bring meaning and spirituality into our lives. That is how we find meaning in the Mishkan. That is how we find meaning in ritual today. As Psalm 90 concludes, may the work of our hands find prosperity. In other words, the actions that we do are not just about the action itself, but the bigger picture of what the action represents, and a desire to always be close to God. Shabbat Shalom.